What's going on? Figured I'd take a ride after work today. Just hit this little spot near my house a few miles away. It's got a little bit of sand, dirt, gravel by a pond, some little whoops, you know, cool stuff like that. Nothing fancy, nothing major. Cool little area, cool spot, nice scenery, beautiful blue sky today. But I figured I'd go ahead and do a video talking about some of the modifications and accessories that I've added to my DR650. These are the things that are going to accommodate me at what skill level I have, with what kind of riding I plan to do, and based on where I live and what areas I have accessible to me when I ride. So initially, when I got this bike, I upgraded from my Honda XR150L to this bike to have something that was more highway capable and something that had a little more power and all that good stuff. But I found that the kind of build that I'm going towards is a lightweight adventure bike for when the day comes that I do get to take some adventures, even if it's just for a full day or two. And basically a commuter, and it's on the heavier side for a dual sport with the things that I've done to it, because I've added the 6.6 Acherbie's tank, which kind of shifts that weight when you're riding off-road, and when you're cornering on-road it does seem obviously I have this luggage on the back that I use, and the only reason I use that is because I commute back and forth to work, and it comes in really handy. But when I go ride off-road, like today, it's after work, so it wasn't like I plan to go take a ride. But if I ever go take a ride, that will come off. I'll just throw a tail bag on, and that I have everything that I need. But I am able to carry everything I need on that. This setup is basically a a milk crate that was $10 for each of these ammo cans. So you got 10, 20, 30, 40, and then the top rack that I have is a Zittimer. And so I got this Zittimer rear rack along with these Zittimer crash bars on sale for Amazon Prime Day. I got it for $80, which is an absolute steal. I've had these for quite some time. I haven't taken any falls on these, but I'm pretty sure they're going to do the job and hold up and kind of protect, and they give a little bit of stability and a mounting point. And so overall, I'm very satisfied with the top rack and these crash bars. This can also be used for a Rotopax if you want to use it for that. So as far as luggage goes, I do have some soft luggage that I can switch over to. I got saddlebags, a couple tail bags. I don't have a tank bag. I'm not really a big fan of the tank bag. I feel like it's just, for me, it's just kind of in my way. I did go with the seat concept seat. I did get this used for under $170. And it was literally, it looked brand new. You can't even tell it was used. And so that seat is definitely comfortable. I'm definitely liking it. I'm definitely noticing a difference. And from what I hear from a video that I watched on Pro Cycle's page, is that this seat is actually a lot firmer than the stock seat. And the reason that this is more comfortable is because it's not squishing down. I guess I'm assuming your butt is actually hitting the pan, that hardness of the pan underneath. So that's actually a firmer seat than the stock seat. So yeah, it's definitely a good seat. I give it 2 thumbs up. I wanted to expand my range, so I went with the Acherbie 6.6 gallon tank. I got this from, I believe it was Parts Giant. I got it for like $255 plus tax. Initially when I installed it, the petcock had a very, very small weep. But I guess after a couple tankfuls, that little weep stopped completely. So no issues with that, even though I do have an extra petcock on hand if any leaking were to start. If you ever install this, make sure that if you drill the second petcock, which I have not done yet, that you clean out the tank real good so no plastic shavings are in there when you hook it up, because you don't want that to get into your carburetor. And also make sure that when you drill the screws into the self-tapping screws into the tank to hold the petcock on, that you're very, very careful. Don't tighten them too much, and I would use finger tight them and then use a little wrench, not a socket wrench. So tank is awesome. You get lots of range on this thing. You can go very far. I would suggest going with the 6.6 if you plan on doing any kind of adventuring or anything like that. Definitely a solid upgrade for this bike. So the GSXR pipe, super awesome pipe, sounds great. I'm gonna fire it up at the end of the video, rev it up a little bit. To pair with that pipe, what I did was I took the carb and I shimmed the stock needle 20 thousandths of an inch, drilled for drilled the cap for to expose the pilot mixture screw. So, and then I adjusted that, so that was enough to accommodate that pipe. Got a lot better response in the mid-range. Also, it started up a little better start because, you know, of course, I given a little more fuel at idle and off of throttle. So the GSXR pipe is awesome. This is the 35FO. So the 40FO is the one that is I would say would be the best, and there are other ones that work. The Hayabusa one will work. It sticks out further and you have to mount it a little bit different, but I have the ProCycle mid pipe. So the ProCycle mid pipe, I have the stock header pipe. I did not internally shave down the weld they have in there, but maybe I'll get to that. But the ProCycle mid pipe, it mounts right up, it's good to go. So if you need to mount one of these, just go ahead and get you the ProCycle mid pipe. GSXR pipe, you never have to repack. It sounds great. It doesn't get annoying when you're riding, if you're putting down a lot of miles, so it's not going to be obnoxious when you're riding off-road. So I would say that's definitely a solid upgrade. Now, tires. I did used to have the Tusk D-Sport on the rear, which is really good for its application off-road, but on-road, you're going to get, the front end's going to sway over 70 miles per hour, 75, definitely 80. It's just not safe to ride on road like that, but for off-road, great tire. Right now I'm running the Shinko 705 on the rear and the Shinko 244 on the front, so that way I don't have to worry about washing out as much on that front. That's the last thing I want on this kind of heavy bike. So that's doing good for me. I got some other sets of tires when I start doing more off-roading with this bike that I would like to try out, but I'll get into that later. Now, as far as protection, which is one of the most important things you can do to begin with this bike, is I got the Acerbis plastic skid plate. Now this skid plate is awesome. I drilled it small holes just to give it some drainage. For when you do oil changes, sometimes oil gets in there, you want to let it drain out. But this skid plate I got on Amazon for like 76 bucks plus tax. I think it's the best one. You're not going to get all that engine noise resonating back against, and it's a solid plate. It's going to skid right over stuff. The metal is going to kind of hit. It's not going to slide as good. So this is solid. These are Zittimer case covers. They were like $25, and I think they do the job. They're a permanent option. If you want to get something you can take on and off, you can go with the Warp 9 case covers. Pretty much all the ones that are available seem to do the job. These cases are made out of magnesium, so if you fall, and on the other side, if the shift lever hits it or a rock hits it, you don't want to be pouring oil out in the middle of nowhere and also have a repair like that on your hands and have to spend all the money on the cases. So it's definitely a good upgrade. These are cheap foot pegs. I got these for like $20, and they're pretty solid for me. You know, I don't do anything too crazy off-road, but there are plenty of options. Those are something. These foot pegs aren't as bad as some dual sports can be, the stock ones, but they are rubber mounted, so eventually I'll probably lower those pegs, give me a little more leg room. But that's all I did for now, is just upgraded the peg to something a little bit bigger, which crunches up your area to shift, especially if you're wearing MX boots. So that's something to think about when you upgrade the pegs. A little less room in there for your you know, your MX boots or whatever you're running. These are, I think, Goodly is the name, just some off-brand frame cover. I probably would have go with the Acerbis if I were you, simply because they have the grips on them. But if you're looking for something for solid black, then that's a good one. So I stripped out this bolt when I was putting it on, and so yeah, that's something I need to fix. I got a plan in mind for that. I spray painted this black, yeah, black and white theme, I guess, for the bike. Anyways, I took the passenger foot pegs off, just taking away a little bit of weight, and also just something that can get snagged, and I don't really want to, I just didn't want that to happen. Maybe I'll put them back on eventually. Let's see here. So eventually I will get an oil cooler guard, and I've heard in the winter that some people actually put some kind of foam in here to allow the oil to get warmer, because if it's really cold, the oil is not going to get warm, especially if you got the oil cooler. So I need to look more into that, but comment down below the video if you have some advice on what you've done. And yeah, I switched up to these nice CNC fork covers because they're actually, you know, you can take them off, rinse them, wash them. You can have access to your seals to kind of clean those out a little bit when dust gets packed up in there. So not that I absolutely love them or anything, but they're a cheap $15 option. I'll probably go with the dirt skins because I like the way the black goes all the way up. So maybe eventually change to that. This Shinko 244 has been solid. I actually really like it. I think they're one of the best budget 50/50 dual sport tires. front fender. The stock front fender is absolutely wobbly. I actually really like the way it looks. I don't have a problem with the way it looks, but as far as aerodynamics and stability, it just flops around like crazy on the highway. So you can get a fender brace, and that probably will remedy it. And that's probably what, if I were you, that's probably what I do. Just get a fender brace. But the YZ450 front fender is good. It's a little bit longer, gives a little bit more coverage. You have to shim it in the back here with some washers in order for it to clear the oil, over here. So yeah, if you want it to clear the oil cooler, you're gonna have to shim it with a couple washers, only in the back on each side. I actually use one on the front here. I think it's three actually, three on the back there, three on the back there, just to get it like 100%. It's still maybe a tad bit off. You would never notice. I'm pretty particular about things. So anyways, stock headlight, I'm just probably going to go with the Tusk LED bulb, or maybe I'll just hold off and just get the Cyclops bulb, or maybe I'll get the JNS headlight. So I don't really know. Need to look into the pros and cons of all those. I got this cool little basket I got from the Dollar Tree that I use as my headlight guard, and yeah, it's holding up. So Enduro Engineering hand guards, not my favorite. I had them, so threw those on there. Still got the stock mirrors. I mean, they're heavy, but they're solid. You can see what's behind you, and they're good. I do want to get some double take mirrors, so that's something I will eventually be adding. I took this is a Zittimer windshield, and I have it mounted as high as it will go to give more wind protection. And I plasti dipped that, so that's pretty cool. You can buy it already, I think dark. I think it's tinted. I think you can actually see through it though. But yeah, just a little bit of wind protection, being that it does fatigue you on the highway, so that allows me not to be fatigued. I still get some wind noise in my helmet, which I haven't found a way to remedy that yet with any. I had another windscreen that was really awesome. It did the job. It mounted to the handlebars, which I really didn't like. It did a little better job of keeping the wind off me, but it did a worse job about the wind coming in my helmet and making all that noise. Still got the stock bar, still got the stock grip, still got the stock levers. Eventually I'll change out the bars when these ones bend, or maybe I'll be preventative and get some, but I haven't done that yet. This cap's a little finicky. I'm going to get one of these with a little vent on top. Just haven't done that yet. But I'm sure riding off road, it's better just to have the full one down, so if it falls, it's just going to knock it all over the bike. Like I said, the seat's awesome. Yeah, the stock mirrors are heavy, but they're pretty good. Get some little extenders, you'll really be good to go, but I do want to get the double takes. So I got the aftermarket filter here, fuel filter, and that's definitely worth it, because you got a filter in here in the petcock, you got this filter here, and that way nothing gets in your carb. And change these out often. You don't want little pieces of stuff in your carb. It will definitely affect it. That's the other side of the case cover, $25 from Zittimer. Zittimer always has stuff on sale for like Amazon Day and Black Friday coming up. Really good prices on their stuff. It's like a budget product for the DR650 and other bikes, but yeah, pretty good. I've debated whether to change this out, but it's good. Shift lever does good for me. Like I said, I might eventually lower the pegs. Yeah, going in this carb was totally worth doing that minimal option of just shimming the stock needle. That's the stock needle, shimming the stock needle, and just drilling out for the fuel screw. I took the pair valve off, and temporarily I just capped it. I didn't get the block off plate because Bush Pig's not shipping to the States right now. And I took the evap can off. Okay, so that evap can, if you overfill this tank, and I'm not talking about coming off the top, but if you fill it too high, and let's say you're riding off road and getting wild, and that gasoline gets in that evap can, it's gonna block it up, and then your tank's gonna hold pressure, and then you're gonna hear it, and it's not gonna be good, and you're gonna have to take it off. It's just a point of failure. Just take it off the bike. Just take it off. It's super easy. You don't even have to buy anything to take it off. You just take it off, and you can use parts of what you already had. Basically, all you got to do is cap where it connects to the carburetor right there. And then if you still have the stock tank, basically what you do is you'll reroute a vent hose out the back on the other side, pretty much like down in here. So that'll remedy that. When you get the aftermarket tank, the vent comes out the top of the tank. The older DRs had the vent on the cap of the tank, but when they added the emissions, they vented it to the evap can, obviously. So, let's see here. The tool tube, after I moved the evap cam, I moved it back. I'll probably just go ahead and get the tool tube from Pro Cycles. Pretty much the same. If you try to make one of your own, that's good too. You'll save a little bit of money, but for the convenience, it's just worth buying the black one with everything you need. You can put it right on, good to go. Like I said, this right here is super beneficial because I commute to work and back. And so I can put like, you know, I can just easily put all my stuff in. It's waterproof. Back here I got like tools and everything I use on the bike. This is a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. This is everything I take like into work with me, or my sunglasses and just different stuff. And here's my lunch box, and I got a tool set down here, and just stuff that I need. So that really works out. Now the rear blinkers, I thought, oh, I had to relocate the front blinkers because when you put on the tank there won't be any clearance if you don't relocate those. So I did relocate those. I have thought about going with the black Tusk D-Flex handguards, and I probably will, and then I'll switch these to the Honda because the Honda has the open-ended handguards right now. So Tusk D-Flex, go with that. I really do want to get the tech spec. I mean, I will eventually get the tech spec grips right here. Okay. Thought about getting a fender bag, keeping a tube in there and whatnot, because like I said, when I go off-road, I'll take this off, maybe have the tail bag and a fender bag. I like having this accessible without any bags on it or anything like that. You know, you can pull that right off, work on it whenever you want. Okay. Eventually probably get a oil filter cover, simply because I don't want that to crack off-road and then oil's leaking out. So there's many options for that. It's just not a major priority right now. But the cool thing about the DR is as you own it slowly but surely, you can just add stuff through the years, because essentially it's a forever bike unless you decide to sell it. Super reliable bike. I'm not really reviewing the bike right now. I have a video about that where I did a 1-year review. Not too in-depth. This is just kind of sharing some of the mods and accessories I've added. Yeah, that pipe is awesome. That's definitely a cool thing to do. I did keep the grab bars. That was good that I could keep those with that rear rack. And then yeah, there's all kinds of other things you can do to the bike. I mean, Pro Cycle sells so much stuff. There's so many options. I love commuting on this bike, riding it. I'm still getting used to it. Like I don't do anything too intense off-road because the bike is heavy and I can't afford to get hurt. So I can be a little more, I guess, risky on the Honda. But the DR is solid, reliable, awesome bike. So yeah, that's some of the mods and accessories I've done, and just got different things in mind. I was thinking about taking these off, but I reckon I'll just leave them on there. So yeah, a few things I got in mind to maybe switch up is that I'll put the tech spec grips here. Probably go with the Tusk D-Flex handguards and pair that with a Tusk bar, double take mirrors. Okay, probably get a Tusk fender bag here eventually when I start doing a little more things off-road. Probably switch to the dirt skins here. I can put those on my Honda. They just come up higher, and I like the black. And I think that's, I mean, I don't think there's too much more. I've had this bike for, I think, about 1.5 years. I've put 9.6 thousand miles on it, trouble-free. I do have a small oil leak right here, right in there, very small. I mean, you can't even see it dripping out. I can just barely see a little bit there. Nothing to notice. I do run AMSOIL in this bike. I feel like it's worth it. So yeah, I do run AMSOIL in the bike. I'm still on the stock chain, stock sprockets. Haven't put too much wear and tear because I haven't rode the bike off-road too much. But when I start doing more off-roading, I think I'm going to go with not the Tusk D Sports, but the other ones that they sell. Man, I can't think of them right now. Wow. Anyways, yeah, something more aggressive just to keep me connected to the ground a little better. Maybe one day I'll update the suspension, but I think it's plush and it's good enough for what I do right now. But anyways, thank y'all for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate it. I hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving. God bless you all. Feel free to share, give me your input, let me know what you think about the bike, what you have to share about different options for lighting and tires and different things like that. I'll go ahead and crank this up real quick, give you a few revs with the GSXR pipe. Let's see what we got.